I need you to know this is not a sales pitch and it isn't clickbait. Everything on this channel is how you access all the physical content that I create at no cost. These are the tools that I use to teach students and clients in person, and I'll link the books and decks page on the website if you want to see everything we've got to offer. But we can work with all of it here together without you having to buy anything. Much of the content that I've created comes in the form of books and practice decks that focus on self-study as something that you make a part of your moment-to-moment experience. And most of it comes from the Self-Study for Self-Realization series. At the time of this recording, 3 of the 5 workbooks are already in publication that correlate directly to this primary text, and they all stick with a similar format, so they're easy to reference, and we've already been working with some of this content in the Self-Study Foundations playlist. All of the decks that I've created so far also relate in some way to the series, and the Self-Study Oracle and the Principal Intentions practice decks are very similar in structure and meaning, and they can be used for the exact same purpose. And at first, that purpose really is to go through the cards in order so that you can burn the principles that we apply to this practice into your brain. Next time, we'll start talking more about those principles, and we will keep coming back to these decks in the future because they are so valuable for keeping your practice interesting and alive in your everyday life. Most of our decks come in 2 sizes, and most have a companion guidebook. At some point, I'll post some shorts so that you can start working with each card individually anytime you like. And I hope that you do, because randomization and repetition facilitate learning. That's how we learn, and that's what all these practice decks were made for. These next 2 decks relate very specifically to a mental assessment process that I teach and a very gentle approach to shadow work. The Shadow and Light book and deck are both already available, and the book does have a lot of information on exploring this lighter approach to shadow work, along with some ideas for assessment that we will be incorporating here as we start adding to the brain training playlist. Now, everything in this deck was made to help you study all those different versions and parts of you that we've already been talking about by working with some of the more traditional shadow work archetypes and some that aren't so traditional, all with corresponding values and imagery to help you assess what you really want and what you value most. Its little companion here, the Sunny and Shade deck and guide, are nearing completion. This is the proof testing deck for this one, and it really was created to maintain the focus on those 4 modalities that we've been talking about in the Foundations playlist, to focus on the everyday experience in some of the exercises for enhancing emotional literacy and for growing emotional intelligence. These 2 decks were made to work together or separately to help you start paying closer attention to what's happening on the inside. But what I'm really asking for here is your interest, some curiosity that keeps you coming back to do the work here with me. That really is the goal. So which deck, which book, which tool looks most interesting to you? I really would love to know.